I believe this is a sodalite cabochon, and it's so pretty. I'm going to try to recreate the wrap that I just kind of came up with in one of the last videos. So we're going to take 20 gauge silver, non-tarnished, silver plated wire. I'm going to take about, not even 2 feet, like about 20 inches. That's not even, that's about 18 inches, about 1.5 feet. All right, make a loop in the middle of the wire, put the two ends together, and make a loop. It's going to be our top loop. Give 2 twists, 1, 2. Come to the back of the stone and just kind of hover, just like that. All right, and this is where it's going to move all over the place till we get it locked in. So just be patient with it, and we're going to make a little kind of like a little lemon shape right here in the back, and then we're going to go another double twist, 1, 2. Okay, and now we're going to come up the top. All right, so everything's slipping and sliding all over the place. That's fine. Just make sure you keep holding everything exactly where you want it. Be as disciplined as possible as you make each move. And eventually things will start staying in their spots. But it's going to get a little frustrating. It's like riding a bike. You got to just keep on putting your foot down, stepping off, putting your foot down, stepping off till you get your balance. So these guys are going to come together now, pretty close to the bottom, and another double twist. These are all going to be double twists just to keep it easy. And see how it's still like all over the place, but we want our top loop centered, and we want it kind of up towards here, up towards the tip. So the loop is kind of coming out where the tip is. All right, I'm pressing from all directions with all my fingers, trying to hold everything flat and straight. And now I'm going to fold these over. Right here. And this stone is a little smaller, so it's working differently. But basically, I'm going to give it another 2 twists, 1, 2. I'm going to give it 4 twists, maybe 5 here. And then I'm going to lay that down right there. Now we're coming from down here, and we want to come from even lower so we can really get a good grip around the edge of the roundness. And we're going to come, but this time we're going to come all the way up here and about like right there. Give it a double twist there, come around, and then grab this top loop right there, once around tight, come around with the other one, grab the top loop, once around tight. And now he is conducting the symphony orchestra. Dun, 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 dun. Don't make fun of me as one long arm and one short arm. Dun, 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 dun. It's a waltz. La la da 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 bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba da da da. Anyway, so now we're just going to wrap around and around, stack the loops up to make like a little scarf as if that was a face till we run out of wire. Then we cut just enough to have a tab to tuck in. And we see that little bowl we made? We tuck the little tab into the bowl, just pinch it in, get it in there, and then wrap it a little further with this one. And just enough, 18 inches was just enough for this little stone. I would take 2 whole feet because your stone might be bigger and you might do it a little differently. Tuck in that last tab, and voila. It's a little different than the last one, but it's interesting. And you can come up with your own. Basically, you just make a loop and you start separating the wire, wrapping it around part of the stone, twisting it, separating the wire, wrapping it around another part of the stone, twisting it, separating the wire, wrapping around another part of the stone, twisting it. And it doesn't even have to be symmetrical like this, especially if you have like an odd shaped stone that is like not symmetrical itself. You can just start doing these patterns where you separate the wire, bring it back together, twist it a few times, separate the wire, bring it back together, twist it a few times. As long as you're pulling it tight the whole time, and as long as you're careful to wrap different parts of the stone so you kind of cover most of the face somewhere with a wrap, eventually you'll start to find patterns you like or patterns that work for your stones. But look how fun that came out. It's kind of different. It's a little bit Celtic. It's kind of cool on the back too. But it definitely, that's a little off center. It definitely looks better in the front. It's nice and centered, and you can mess with it a little bit more. But it's pretty strong. It's pretty stable. If you want, you can come in and crimp it. I showed on the last one, you can come and just put little crimps, little turns, and that makes these look kind of zigzaggy like lightning bolts. But some people like the straight look. I would try both ways, see what you like, and then see what your stone likes. All right, you guys, have fun. And you can also, if you want to strengthen it, you can crimp it in the back without crimping it in the front, because the front is where everybody sees it. So the back, if you don't care so much, that sometimes tightens it. But be careful, because it can move it around too, and it might move it where you don't want it to. So after you're done crimping it, always check the front, make sure nothing really moved. See, that moved a little bit off center. We're going to slide it back now. All right. Happy wrapping.